The music don't stop. Here we go. Welcome back to another warm-up show with the hockey coach Guru Conferences directly from the Sunshine State in Florida. And we have to go all the way to find our co-host, Mr. ENORTAP, in the house.
Happy Thursday, Coach. Hello, Hockey Nation. Great to be here.
I think at that moment we're going to have only one time per night. I'm going to be die at the end of the night with my cardio of the running like the horse. That's what happening because we just show up at the saloon, me and ENORTAP. We use the horse to go there. So that's what happening about that. Mr. ENORTAP is Thursday, March 3rd, 2022. And we have a busy night.
9 games, yeah.
9 games on the program tonight. Only 4 last night. And not a good night for anybody. Like, anybody did well. You are the winner of the fantasy last night because nobody have a great night. So we put you the winner last night on the fantasy. And a lot of people find the game, tied the game for 1. So a lot of 2-2 last night, honestly. And maybe Yamo. Yamo, I did not find one score. So I'm not sure if Yamo can tell me exactly his score. I put him 2-2. But I did not know. I don't know why I may be missing one of his score last night. So, but we have a few people in the house already, Mr. ENORTAP. So welcome, Mr. Jose Duarte, directly from New York, in the house.
Hello, Jose.
And from Finland, back in the house, Mr. Jarmo Virtanen with us.
Jarmo, welcome.
And wow, welcome back for evening, Mr. Jeffy Korn gaming with us tonight. Jeffy Korn. Run with Kings number 20 back in the house directly from Utah. Hopefully he's doing better and glad to see you, buddy, tonight.
Hi, Ron. Welcome.
And directly from dans la belle province de Québec, maintenant, peut-être même plus au chalet, mais on va le recevoir, vous lui dire un gros bonjour. Monsieur Alexis Lascaux-Dubuc in the house.
Hello, Alexis.
The number 1 fans of the Boston Bruins are back with us tonight, Mr. Ross Bington in the house.
Hello, Ross.
And between 2 cars, maybe he sell one right now. I don't know. He maybe buy one. Who knows what he's doing? But we know he's with us, Mr. Dixon, Automotive Group, Dan Ogilvy, and the house.
Hello, Dan. Welcome.
Yes, that's an old score, old skate, Mr. Dixon, like mine, to be honest with you. Alexis said that t'as pas mis mon score. Alexis said, hey, you forgot to put my score. But Alexis, the one you have 0 and 4, we don't put the name of the people in the chat. So, t'as eu 0 et 4 hier, mon Alexis, donc t'as été blanchi. Donc, c'est pour ça qu'on t'a pas mis ton nom hier soir, mon ami Alexis, malheureusement. Donc, c'est à cause de ça. You're welcome, Jose. And Blackhawks fan 97, we find out his name last night, Mr. ENORTAP. Now, his name is Nick, and ever it's not Nick, it's Kate, and Kate has Joshua and Harper. So now we know everybody in the family directly from Illinois.
Welcome, Nick. And family.
Exactly. Thank you, Yamo. I don't know why. It's rare I miss you, but I don't know. I come that late, so I put 2-2. But by the way you usually do your pick, I took a chance, but I got it. Alexis, ce soir, je fais Montréal et Vancouver, moi, Alexis, ce soir. Good day, coach. ENORTAP, yep, always a great day. It's Thursday. Alex Islanders. He's back in the house, Mr. TAG. Welcome back, Mr.
Yes,
DAG. Johnny Larkin in the house.
Welcome.
Because we have someone from Niagara Falls, but TH is not coming from Niagara Falls. Peter August is from Niagara Falls. So I cannot remember. Do you remember who he's coming from? Because we have Bert.
Niagara
Bert
Falls.
is from Pont Rouge.
Are we talking about Peter August?
I'm talking about THG.
Oh, THG is from...
I cannot recall it. So
Toronto,
anyhow,
I think.
Mr. Richard Mullen back in the house. The lead Perrault. Richard, hopefully you're doing well. Speed recovery. We did not see you for the last couple of days. Hopefully you're doing better. In my nightly fantasy, I made a check on goals, so easy to guess. No money prize. Shut down completely, my friend. Hey, Mr. Tommy Meyer in the house. Tommy.
Hello, Tommy.
Do you know what you do? What do you know? What he's going to do, Tommy?
He wants some fire.
I'm sorry.
He wants some fire.
Tommy is going to get some food. He's going to cook.
Oh.
And at the next 15 minutes, he's going to disappear because he's going to get his food. That's the time for him. So we have to I have all the staff, my friend. You don't know the staff we have is unbelievable. We have cookies, we have the chef for the salmon, and we have Danny the bouncer, we have Nona to pick up the lunch. Everybody have a job here. We have the insider, RJ, and we have the scout. And listen, this is unbelievable. It's unbelievable. Imagine we're going to be 300 people here at the same time. The show will be quick. It will be 60 minutes to welcome everybody.
You
and
then talk.
You never going to talk enough that. Good. Ken, vas-tu faire des moves, Alexis? Je crois qu'il va faire peut-être une ou deux moves 2 semaines. I'm back at home. Richard, welcome back, buddy. Thanks for us.
Welcome to the show.
C'est ça, moi, Alexis. Je fais ce soir Montréal et Calgary. John Gregor, Boston Bruins in the house.
Welcome, John.
Tommy is on fire tonight. Fais-tu non, seulement toujours en fait juste seulement une partie maintenant, Alexis. À cause que je fais beaucoup de. Je fais beaucoup des games, des shows le jour. Niagara Falls is on Buffalo side. Yeah, honestly, Niagara Falls is like right there in the middle. You walk, you cross the bridge, and then you can put one step and the USA and one step on the Canada, and that's how it works on Yamo.
Beautiful.
And that's where. And la poutine in the house.
Poutine.
Talk about food. La poutine show up. I already did salsa coast, hero, and pata chip. Yamo, awesome. Yamo, that's me. Peter is in Niagara Falls on, exactly, that's Peter. So TH is coming from somewhere else. I cannot remember. It's rare, but we'll see what's happening. I see I've never been in USA. Yamo, not a problem. You're learning. Awesome, the coach and the top. I'll keep fun for around the world. Pierre Martin in the house.
Yeah, welcome.
And don't forget, guys, to click on the likes. That'd be awesome. If you can do this, I'll be perfectly great. Put some, oh, yeah. He said, do good guessing. I will give you some poutine. Here we go. He still owes you some poutine for the last time about that one over there. Nashville game like last night. Make it out to show, tell if it's good enough to make the playoff. What do you think about that?
I know. That's a good statement. It's tough. Like I fear for Nashville. I have a sneaky suspicion they might drop.
I know. That's really it's a crazy race, in that area for sure about that one over there. So I don't know enough that just be good. That's what he want you to be good. That's the way to do that. So good is a good thing. And talking about to be good. He's coming from the shack. He's coming from the fishing pole. He's back in the house, ready to rock and roll someone if you don't click on the lights. And Mr. Danny T in the house tonight.
Danny O, welcome.
So that's what happening about that. But it's time already to Mr. ENORTAP. He's coming with a puck. He's coming to the middle of the ice. He's skinny for the right to the left. He's going to drop that puck. podcast. Face up in up top what is happening in the last 24 hours and what pay is attention. That's what the ENORTAP is going to talk to us right away at the beginning of the show because we have only 30 minutes to show about prediction tonight. So, Mr. ENORTAP, you are on the mission to tell us what's happening in the last 24 hours.
Well, in terms of the games coached last night, again, when you go 2-2 in your predictions, not too good. But you know what? Again, surprises. That's been the theme of the last 2 weeks. We had Buffalo go right in Toronto. Finally, they had it open to all fans to attend, and it didn't go well. 5-1 for Buffalo. As much as we harp on the Leafs needing defense, I'd also like to give a shout out to Buffalo because I thought they played a good road game. They were very tight defensively. They got some great goaltending, and as much as the Leafs weren't good, Buffalo was, and they came prepared for this game. And then, of course, the LA and Dallas game, back and forth. I think Dallas really.
I don't know what's going on here anymore. We have the guys going all the time over there. We have to figure out what's going on over there. And I don't know how to stop it, my friend. That's the funny thing about that one over there. We try to do this right now.
Coach, don't want me to talk.
We have right now something's going on on my computer. I don't know what's going on. But sorry about that.
It's okay. Just saying that the LA and Dallas game was quite a treat. It went down to a 4-3 final score for Dallas. You know what? I got to admit, Dallas is starting to get a little bit more consistent now. They needed this game because they're going on, I think, a 6-game, if I'm not mistaken, a 6-game road trip now, and they're going to be playing some tough teams there. So, on the other hand, LA is, I think, going to now be entering a little bit of lighter schedules, so that's good for them. They can stay in the game for sure. St. Louis and the Rangers, again, very promising game. I think the Rangers came out 2-0 right off the bat. And then bang, 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 St. Louis going into the third, we're up 3-2. And, again, some great saves by Shesterkin kept them in. And finally, they completed their comeback with a 5-3 victory there. It was great. And of course, we had the Nashville-Seattle game, which obviously didn't disappoint. It was also an exciting game. But this was a must-win for Nashville, and against the team that's at the bottom of the league, and you can't give away 2 points like this. You have to, at the very least. I understand having a night off, but at the very least, you got to come away with a point.
It was like lead by 3-1.
I know.
And then the winning goal is on the short and done. Philip Laforsberg drop the puck and lose the puck, and Blackwell go to the other direction. So. Really interesting to see those games. Those games yesterday. Honestly, Ron said a little bit concerned about the Kings. Said the last 2 games they are chasing the puck. They need to make team start the chase again. About the Kings, about that one over there. Tommy said the Panthers really need to break out over there. I know we're going to talk about the game a little bit, but do you believe the Panthers will be back tonight on the W side?
Yeah, I think they will. Again, if you look at the 3 losses they just took at home, it's not from a lack of scoring. I think they scored either 3 or 4 goals in all of those 3 games. It's been the inconsistency of Bobrovsky, and you can't have that as you get closer into the playoffs and then eventually into the playoffs, because those are the things that will kill in the playoffs. He's got to be more consistent.
Yep. Since turnover killed the Nashville last night, so many turnover. Welcome, Mr. AKYT in the house. And we have Miss Kelly.
You are
Awesome. She's back, Miss Kelly.
Hi, Kelly. Welcome.
We have I have a couple of conversations right now. I try to get the best way I can figure out this, but most of them, we said Toronto need better goalie. Campbell and Mejracek won't cut anymore from Putin.
Well, you know what I think, Putin, and I was thinking about this last night, Coach, as well. After the Leafs lost this game, I think Campbell is his own worst enemy. Like he really lives rent free inside his own head, and every time he doesn't have a good goal, good game, or he allows a bad goal, he really gets down on himself. And I noticed that has repercussions down the road for himself and for the team. I think if they could just build up his confidence a little bit, and he starts to play a little bit more consistently, like he was at the beginning of the year, they'll be fine in the playoffs with Campbell. It's just that Mrazek has to come in, and he's not going to perform miracles, but he has to keep them in because the Leaf offense will find a way to click, right?
He refused a contract at $2.75 million.
Campbell, or yeah.
Do you think they resign him?
Me. Oh boy, it depends how this year goes, right? I think if they're out of the first round again, I think they might be looking elsewhere for a goalie.
Ross said, wow, we have a super chat. Is it right?
Yeah.
We have a super chat. That's amazing to see Mr. Tommy, Mr. Sandwich make a chat. So when we have a super chat, Mr. ENORTAP, here we go.
Super hype.
Super chat reverse. Super chat, Tommy, $5. Thank you so much, Mr. Tommy. Thank you so much for your super chat about that one over there. Ross said, good job for the Sabres. I agree with him. I think we have to give credit also for the Sabres last night. I think they did with it. And Pierre Martin said, and I think he's right, no team last night will win the cup.
No, he's probably right. Yeah, Pierre, I don't disagree.
Thank you so much again, Mr. Tommy. Why the goalie always blame when the team is not good?
Well, it's the easiest target, right? That's where the goals are scored.
Because he's the last one should stop the puck. That's the reason behind everything, right? We blame him all the time, but absolutely right about this. I know they talk about Yamo and Ron talk about Lemieux and everything like that, but did you see the conversation between Lemieux and Jimmy Benn for about 2 minutes last night? And nobody invited them to go to Hooters after the game because they was not talking the same language for sure about that, but nothing happened about that. So, Tommy said the Sabres pissed me off last night because they beat the Toronto Maple Leafs. And Joseph Laham in the house.
Joseph, welcome. I guess Tommy must be a Leaf fan.
Thank you so much, Joseph. Don't forget, guys, to click on the like. That'd be great. That would be awesome. Mr. ENORTAP said, it's before we move on to the next thing, we have to stop by and see the winner last night. What happening last night? The winner last night. We have too many best record, and Mr. ENORTAP was too many. A lot of people have two, so they can look their name at the bottom of the screen. But we have a right score, and we have a lot last night. Ron King's 20, guys. I believe Ron is on the 3 back-to-back night with one number, with one right score. We have Kelly, ENORTAP, Andy Kuivula, and Jose Duarte. All the 5 people have the right score on only 4 games. That's pretty amazing. 5-3 was the right one, and the 4-3 it was the another one. Those kind of number what usually people pick at the end of the day. The 5-2, the 4-2, the 3-2, right? And then fantasy, we have to give to ENORTAP. He was the only one yesterday with 3 points because Adam Fox, Mr. ENORTAP, compared to the rest. Nobody had 2 points last night. Everybody have 1 assist or 0 point. So they don't deserve to put their name on the map and on the leaderboard. That's happening. So for the winner today, Here we go. The winner. Rivers for the winner of the day. Here we go, the winner of the day. Best record of the day. And maybe now I'm shifting the graphic. Check what's happening. I don't know what's going on here. Here we go. It's coming from the back door. I have to fix this, but that's what happened anyway. What a way. Here we go. Where to go for the winner of the day. Bravo. Talking about the half of the brother, we got the nice and the great brother in the house. Mr. Nooner in the house.
Oh my God!
He's back
Hello,
in the
Roger.
house today.
Welcome, Roger.
I thought Lemieux was going to be at the third period. Yes, me too about that one over there. Yeah, congratulations about the winner. Congratulations, Kelly. Don't know the lead, Roger. Go for the abs, Danny. Here we go. Jose, did you pick 4 of 3 to the loudest? Thank you, Coach. ENORTAP is my friends, not a problem. Welcome, everybody. Don't forget, guys, to click on the like. That'd be awesome. And Mr. ENORTAP, we have to go right away because I think we have 9 games and we have to take a time to each game. So we want to start right away. But before we start, of course, we do always the ones called Who Are They, right? And let's dive in there, see who are they. And the first one, by the way, tomorrow, Mr. ENORTAP, 7 games on the...
I know it's a busy Friday.
Yeah, but we're going to go to the saloon tomorrow night. It's Friday, so it's time to be happy hour. So why not to go down over there? So who are they? Only one tonight. It's really because the time is limited.
Oh my God!
And this one's going to be this guy over there. And here we go. I can drop a little bit. And I can open up more.
Emphasize St. Louis.
Here we go. Who is the goaltender for the St. Louis Blues? Alexis, c'est Berube. Same here, Kelly. Ross, everyone on the leave need to take a hard look in the mirror. Again, the hero from last Saturday were not where to be found. Boudreau, we have Alan. Danny said Alan. Yamo said Cujo. Richard Mullins said Alak. Who's going to be it? Kelly said Klein Hall. I wish Klein Hall have some equipment like that. It would be very happy. Putin said Curtis, good Rangers come back and the over last night. I agree with you, Tommy. Valley Cat. We put a picture of the Valley Cat today, and someone put Valley Cat, and now Yamo, he likes the Valley Cat words like that. Mr. ENORTAP, do we have a winner or not have a winner?
Not a winner. It doesn't look like it.
Here we go. Who's again the goaltender?
But you tricked us, Coach.
I'm sorry?
You tricked us again. You tried anyways. Because you had this answer yesterday, even though it wasn't the right goalie. I think it's Jim Carrey, the comedian.
As the Jim Carrey in the house. Jim Carrey in the house tonight. And Mr. ENORTAP, we have a question for Mr. Alexis before we jump on the set, and I can find it. ENORTAP, our scouting staff was what? How do you go to base for the staff for the Montreal Canadiens pick the draft pick? So what do you think they will figure out what their base, what they're looking for to draft the players next year? Is it the speed? Yeah. Is it small, big, forward, backwards?
Yeah, I think Hughes kind of alluded to that. He wants to build a team that's built on speed, character. They want to go a little bit bigger too. So I think they're going to be looking. Personally, I think they're going to be looking definitely forward, probably at the center position. unless there's a stronger winger available at that position. I think they're fairly happy with what they have in terms of prospects right now on the defensive end, and I don't think in the top 10, at least the rankings right now, the top 10, there's too many defensemen anyways. I think they're mostly either centermen or wingers, if I recall correctly.
All right, we're going to welcome Mr. William Maricaz, studio in the house.
Welcome, William.
We have also Daryl Adam, and Daryl have a question. He said, from John Lou, there's something from not rebuild but retold, and they're getting rid of the player to go after better players, sir. Do you think they rebuild or they retool?
I think they rehab. I think they're looking at they're rebuilding, but they're doing it in a way that is shorter period than the
name they said was transformation.
5 years. Transformation, yeah.
Luc Lafortune, welcome aboard, Luc Lafortune. And Morning Wood. Morning Wood welcome. Back with us. Thank you so much, Morning, to join us today. I agree with you about that, honestly, for the Montreal Canadiens. 18 days.
I know.
Who's going to be traded?
I still think at most we're going to have two. I have, Coach, I have this sneaky suspicion this year throughout the league, it's not going to be a very busy trade deadline. I think we'll have some minor deals, maybe like something like Giroux going through. I could see that happening. As a matter of fact, last night I was thinking Giroux in Minnesota would look very good. Very, very good if they can land them.
Yeah, for sure they would be look for that part over there. If you do, you trade Chariot, the value of Ben Chariot is what?
I think it's a first plus, probably a B prospect or something, or 2 picks, like a first and a third or something. But yeah, it's got to be something like that. Otherwise,
the rumor now is getting more like a second round pick.
Only.
Yeah, well, maybe with maybe, but that's what he's getting because you have too many seller versus the buyer, and the case of the player now drop a lot. So they're talking about Kulak and Lehkonen together.
Kulak and Lehkonen. Yeah, okay, I could see that. Yeah, but it has to be a decent return because, like I said, even Lehkonen right now, I think commands more than just a first. Just
you're not going to get a first round pick and a prospect for Lehkonen.
Yeah.
By the way, Krasov scored yesterday or this morning. Oof, what a shot!
Yeah.
What a shot. Yamo said, leave Gilmore, scout 2 Canucks game. Bowser and Garland could be on the move. Yeah, Bowser, Garland, and Miller was on the the one the New York Vancouver can trade at some point. Mr. Nicholas is back in the house. If Nicholas, the price not coming back, they go with Jake Allen. That would be the way they would do that. Nick is back. Welcome back. Chikron to the Kings. It could happen about that. Danny T would be trade from the leave to Montreal. Do you think DeBrusk can trade?
He might be. I think that might happen in the off season.
I agree with you. Not right now.
I don't think it'll happen now.
You don't have not enough return, I believe.
Right.
I like that ID, Kulak-Licken as a package deal. Over my way, Bozer is a snapper. As soon as they pick up Stolak again, will return soon, report said. Yeah, and they'll do this for me because they tried maybe trade Jim Raymer at some point. I would not be surprised if Raymer goes somewhere like return with the Florida Panthers.
Now, Coach, did Stalock have a heart condition?
He got this, and then he's fine. He was back like 1 month ago. and now he's ready to rock. But I would not be surprised that's what he do.
Yeah, Reimer will probably end up
I believe the Flatter looking for a goaltender.
right.
I wouldn't be surprised about that. What's up, Coach? ENORTAP, Mr. Dawson, Sport Corner in the house. Manta is back for the Caps, and also Norris is back with Ottawa tonight. So I just want to mention, Dawson, welcome aboard. Thanks for joining us. Mr. Nick said, do you think the Hawks will trade Agel?
That's interesting. Eh? He's having himself a very good year. What is he, about 20, 24, 25 years old now? I think he might be part of a trade.
The value increased last game. They scored a hat-trick last week, so with Kane. So he's the one where maybe Chicago can looking for sure, maybe with someone on about that one over there. Lehkonen and Kulak and Edmonton.
For
Duncan Keith. Montreal Keith, the money of Lehkonen. They got the first round pick of. Hold on. Yeah, you have to trade. It was 3 parties. One is involved Vegas for Lehkonen. But anyway, it's Washington, Montreal, Edmonton. And at the end of the day, if Washington is Vegas, I don't know. No, it's Vegas, Montreal, and Washington example. Montreal send Lehkonen, Kulak, and they get in return Cormier and Dadonov, and they got a first round pick, and they go back to Montreal, get some money of Dadonov, and they get the money of the Lehkonen, and then they ship Dadonov to Washington, and they get a second round pick.
Don't like it.
So
don't like it.
They're remaining money, but they get a first round pick and a second round pick.
Yeah.
Dixon said, would you take Subban for $3.5 million for 3 years?
No.
All right. Nicholas, stick with Allen. You said no trade with Allen. Then personally, I think their aim is good deal. A rebuild, no transfer because price will be back. Won't be a premium for loan. About that. Yes, very high match for that part of there. So very interesting about that one over there for sure. It's time, Mr. ENORTAP. We have 35, so we get over 5 minutes, but I know you're going to be fine. So it's time for select the 9 game. Don't forget, guys, if you go for that, we have another graphic behind for the game between the Colorado and Arizona. So that's what we at that moment, Mr. ENORTAP. This is your template, and I like your template because sometimes now I figure out you put the same team at the same spot, so for me it's quicker.
That's good. Well, what do we have here? We have first game of the night. Well, it's not the first game of the night, but it is on our template. Montreal and Calgary. It marks the return of Toffoli against his old team. Calgary really. They won 10 straight before a 7-1 loss to Vancouver back a few days ago on the 24th. They've been probably the hottest team in the league. Montreal, we've seen a lot of good signs from them. But we also see that where the areas of concern are, and they came out loud and clear in that Winnipeg game the other night. You look at, for me, something that stood out was even though Suzuki's our top scorer on the season, he's a minus 18. All right, so that's an area of concern. Josh Anderson has been playing very well. We've seen Caulfield's been relatively doing well, and the defense has really picked up in my eyes as well. But this is an extremely difficult game for them. In Calgary, I think they're going to win this game 5-2. Calgary.
I don't. It's just like I have a lot to catch up.
Yeah, no problem. Do you want me to go on or?
No, that's fine. Just give me a second.
Okay, no problem. Yeah, it's going to be tough for Montreal here. I think they might put up a good game, but then come late second period, third period, I think Calgary will pull away.
5-1 tonight.
And apparently Hammond is starting.
Hammond's start, yeah.
Yeah.
And Perrault is out. Pesada is back. Welcome, Yann Gionnet. Welcome aboard. Salut, mon homme. Comment tu vas, mon Yann? That's it.
Okay, next, the Wild will try to avoid a fifth consecutive loss when they visit Philadelphia tonight. Minnesota has been struggling mostly on the offensive end, which has been surprising in my eyes. That's kind of why I was thinking, trying to acquire somebody like Giroux might be the perfect remedy for them in Minnesota. The Wild will try to look to reverse their fortune when they begin a brief 2-game trip, and it starts tonight in Philadelphia. The frustration was really evident after the Wild were whistled down for a penalty just 24 seconds into the game against Calgary, and then they fell behind 1-0 on that power play. And so it set the whole theme for them, and they knew they had to come out and sort of dictate the play, score the first goal, which is ever so important, and they didn't. They were taken off their game plan for sure. If the Wild are going to defeat the Flyers, they must improve on their specialty teams, the power play, the penalty kill. They went 0 for 5 with the man advantage while allowing 2 power play goals against for Calgary. The Flyers, on the other hand, have dropped 4 or 5 during their season high 8-game homestand. And most recently, they were blanked by Edmonton 3-0. I think finally Minnesota will come out on top here. I'm going to take them to win this one 4-1, Coach.
Thank you.
Okay. Next, we have Ottawa and Florida, of course. So the Senators, they've called it, they're dealing right now with a big flu bug and some injuries as well. It's been ongoing for about 2 games now. This will be the third. They've had some players out because of that. I think there's about 8 or 9 different players that have been affected by it. It's a non-COVID flu that they're saying has nothing to do with COVID. So that's the good news, I guess. Every year we always hear about teams that get hit by the flu. So that's all this is right now. But it comes at an inopportune time for the Senators, just when they were starting to get back healthy. The Senators lost 5-2 to Tampa on Tuesday, but at least they got back their number one defenseman, Thomas Chabot, who, by the way, in that 24-hour span, I don't know if you know, Coach, with that flu, he lost 13 pounds. So, that's the severity of that flu right now that's going through the change room. The Senators, though, are still without 3 of their top 6 forwards due to injuries. Drake Batherson, Josh Anderson, I think, is back tonight, so it might just be 2 now. But Shane Pinto's still out with that shoulder injury. The Senators are just 9-12-3 on the road this year. However, they have played better on the road lately with 2 victories in their past 3 attempts. They appear to have a shot for a 3rd road win on Tuesday, only because when you look at it on paper, they're playing Florida, who have lost 3 in a row at home. But I don't think that this is the game for Ottawa. I think the Panthers will come out strong and dictate the play the entire game. I'm taking Florida to win this one 6-2.
Sweet.
And next we have Carolina and Washington. Now, Washington, Uh, what can I say about Washington? I'm really worried, and I wasn't particularly impressed by the. I think it was the GM that made this comment yesterday. They asked them in the press conference, "Are you looking to make some kind of trade that will impact the team in a positive way?" And he said, "Well, the team is not there. And so if they're not there, I'm not going to make any trades and bring in contracts like that." So I don't know. I think if I'm a player and I hear that, and you couple it with the fact that they have about, 3 or 4 Russians on the team that right now are going through, probably their own hell as well. Um, I'm going to go on the record and say I know it's a long shot, coach, but I can see Washington dropping out of the playoff position and either Columbus or Detroit being that second wild card team that comes in, just because of the effects of these things that it can have on a team. Um, Carolina's been consistent all year long. There's not really too many holes to poke here with Carolina. I mean, they can always use a little bit more scoring. They're not as talented as some other top echelon teams that have great scoring, but they have very solid defense, and of course, they have great goaltending in Anderson. So I'm going to take Carolina to win here 4-2, coach. By the way, Columbus is now 8 points behind them with a game in hand.
Yeah, you're right.
So it'll be interesting the last 28 to 30 games for sure.
If they lost tonight, the Columbus don't play, but they gave a hand game
Right.
for them.
2 games, yeah. Both Pittsburgh and Tampa opened up their season playing each other. These two teams don't like each other very much, and they always play a very rough and tough game. Pittsburgh won that opening game of the season by a score of 6-2, despite the fact that they were undermanned. They had a number of injuries, as you might recall, at the beginning of the year. However, Pittsburgh lost the ensuing rematch game 2 weeks later by a score of 5-1 to Tampa. Pittsburgh comes into this game riding a 2-game win streak, following that 3-2 win over Columbus. I think Tampa slowly starting to emerge. It's like cream that rises to the top. It looks like they're starting to emerge as the Atlantic Division leaders. And really, to me, it's not a surprise. I think that they learned their lesson a number of years ago, just before they won their first cup, that putting yourself all out there and winning the President's Choice, or not President's Choice, but the President's Trophy, really doesn't have that much bearing. It's what happens in the playoffs. So they're a veteran group of players that know how to win and when to win. And they still have, if you look at those 3 teams in the Atlantic, they still have the best goaltending. And in my eyes, if you have the best goaltending, that's the team that usually goes the furthest. To top that, we've seen Kucherov and Brandon Point have also, started to pick up the pace and been putting up good points for themselves. I'm going to take Tampa to win this at home 4-2.
That's remind me the first game of the season.
Yes, and I expect a lot of rough play in this game.
And Pittsburgh beat them and without Malkin and Crosby.
That's right, and a couple of others.
Yep.
But then the second game, like I said, was 5-1 Tampa. So we'll see. This is the rubber match, I guess.
Yep.
Next game, we have Vancouver and the New York Islanders. The Islanders finally are at home for an extended period after spending most of the last 3 weeks on the road. But they're facing the Canucks, and that in itself poses a challenge, since Vancouver still has aspirations of catching that last wild card position, or even better if possible. But it's a huge chore for them. The Islanders will open a 6-game homestand now. They're hoping for better things at home. But they, even on the road, they've kind of been inconsistent in my eyes. I know they've been playing a lot better recently. They're not looking right now. They're looking at obviously being sellers if within the next 2 or 3 weeks. So we'll see what happens. I don't think this is a team that really has to rebuild. I think that they could retool. This is a perfect example of a team that has some key components, and I think they just have been hit with a lot of different problems during the course of the year. The Canucks, they entered Wednesday 5 points behind Edmonton in the race for the final Western Conference wildcard spot, and they're looking for some consistency as they continue this 4-game trip. And in the month of February, they went 6-4 with all of the losses and 4 of the wins by multiple goals. So I'm going to take Vancouver to win this, even though they're on the road, by a score 4-2.
Barzell out.
Yeah. He was out last game as well, I believe. Yeah, he hasn't been back. And then here we have Edmonton and Chicago. Edmonton, I'm starting to see the pattern. Edmonton has a hard time once they fall behind, trying to get, even though they have a lot of firepower on that team. Two of the best players in the league that can really score, but they're a team that has to score first. As a matter of fact, I decided to look it up afterwards, and I found out that this year so far, when they scored a first goal, they're perfect. They're 17-0-0. So that's the key for their success, is they have to come out on top right away, and they have to be able to dictate the game to the other team. So they have Koskinen going tonight. And I got to say, Coach, Koskinen has been taking a lot of heat. And, if you look at his record, it really hasn't been horrible. I think what the problem is he's been forced, because of Smith's injuries, he's been forced to be their number one goaltender. And he's not really built for that. I think he makes a solid backup goalie. If you look at his record over the last 2 years as a backup to Smith, like he's been actually very good. His stats are favorable. His save percentage has been in the almost at 910. I think it was around 908 or 909, with an average of goals against of 294, which are good numbers for a backup goalie. So I think sometimes he takes a lot of heat for these losses, and we're always thinking Edmonton needs a goalie. I think they need to address their defense before they tackle that. They will in the offseason. I think we'll go for a starting goalie, but we'll see what happens with Koskinen. In this game here, I'm going to go with Edmonton to win this 4-3. I think Chicago's been having some tough times at home, so and Edmonton obviously knows the pressure of having to win this.
That's
Next
good.
game, Boston, Boston and Vegas, with Vegas in the thick of a very competitive playoff race in the Western Division. They now have the Bruins on deck Thursday in Vegas. I think their Vegas formula is going to have to be like it was the last game. They're going to have to play a very strong defensive-minded game and just wait for their opportunities. I think a lot of this changes when they get all their key players back into the lineup, but for now, they have to change their philosophy a little bit like they did in the last game. They remain in third place in the Pacific. If they win, however, shortly before that, like they have to think of, the fact that this is it's a tough Boston team. They're going to play a physical game against you. You can always expect that. Boston always comes out very tough, especially on the road for some reason. And they've been very successful lately on the road as well. So we'll see how this goes. I bounce back and forth with this prediction, but I'm going to go with Vegas to win this one, 4-2.
Well, I went with Boston.
Yeah, it's very possible.
And let's move on to the next one. And then I'm going to delete only the first part over there so people can pick it up.
And of course, we're going to say, hey, this is Colorado and Arizona. This should be a blowout. And maybe it will be. Who knows? I mean, Colorado's only been the hottest team in the league for the last couple months for sure. Arizona is last in the NHL with 32 points and all but, mathematically eliminated from postseason action for the second straight year. But you know what? If you look at some of Arizona's games, they've fared pretty well against the league's top teams. The Colorado Avalanche, who come into this game it's the finale of their 4-game series. It'll be interesting. I just hope Colorado doesn't take them lightly, because these sometimes are traditional kind of trap games that teams decide to take the night off, thinking, oh, well, you know what, we don't have to give 100% here. We should get the 2 easy points. But I don't think that'll happen. Despite the despairing, the fact that they're so far apart in the points. Arizona, in the previous 3 games they've played them, they've gone 1-1-1. So I think Colorado's learned their lesson not to take them lightly for sure. So I'm going to go with Colorado to win this, and by a score of 5-2.
We have a lot of beer league right now score in the chat. I went to the beer league, but 6-2. It's time for the fantasy hockey players. So if you want to join us for the fantasy hockey, you just have to put there. And Mr. ENORTAP, obviously, I didn't have your score, so I just put score by my head. I just give us 3 points. You maybe beat me, but I did not know what the score. So let's go with Colorado, Ekblad, Mekar, Huberdeau, McKinnon, et Trossardot. You took your strategy to cut my line every players you took.
You weren't too far off, Coach. It was the score is 455 and 475. So
no, it was the same score the day before.
Oh, it was.
Yeah,
it was. Okay, so
that's why it's not a big deal. You just gave it to me tomorrow, but I just want to let you know.
You're right. Yeah, and it was fairly close, anyways.
Yeah.
For tonight, I'm gonna take Colorado. No, you took Colorado. Okay, so I'll take Minnesota. And I'm going to take Hedman and Letang. And then I'm going to go with Rantanen, Barkov, and McDavid.
Perfect about that one over there. Let me finish with Richard Marlin pick Kadri also. With Ron. Noner Fantasy is Ovechkin. I got you earlier, Mr. Noner, with Ovechkin. And after that, Kelly go with Matt with Kachuk tonight. That's good about that one. Then fantasy player AO for Carolina, AO for Danny. Luke Efferson's go with Kudrow. And you're welcome, everybody. Then we have to go there. We'll see. I'm sure the music will start over. It's no big deal. I don't know. I need to fix this, but it's no big deal.
That's okay.
It's all good about that. We are at the end, and when we are at the end of the show, Mr. ENORTAP, you know what's going on, because you're going to be on breakaway, and to do the breakaway, we have to start this kind of music, because that's your music, and I have to find your music now. See, it's too busy right now today.
It's very short.
Here we go. That's the time for the shootout ENORTAP. What is going to look tonight, what he will pay his attention for the 9th game on the show, on the program for NHL. Here we go, Mr. ENORTAP. Where are you going to look tonight?
Well, a few games, but one thing that, just as an aside, Coach, one thing that really stood out this year, and you would almost never associate this with Calgary, but if you look at their top line, the Gaudreau, Lindholm, and Tkachuk line, Gaudreau right now is at a +40.
How about that? Charge.
Yeah, Gaudreau's at a +40, Lindholm is at +39, and Tkachuk's at +33, which I found amazing. Like, that's explains their success, that's for sure. But anyways, in terms of the games tonight, I think the Minnesota-Philadelphia game is intriguing only in that the importance that it carries for Minnesota. They cannot really lose to Philadelphia. That's a must-win for them. I think also Carolina and Washington, I don't anticipate, like, I brought it up as a point because of what I said earlier. I can see Washington starting to go down the tubes, and I'm just curious if this will be the starting, well, not the starting point, but a contributing point. And, and I think, again, Edmonton has to come out big in this game here, and they have to get that first goal. And, of course, Pittsburgh and Tampa are going to have a fest tonight, that's for sure.
You're absolutely right about that. I would say to you, the first line in the NHL, the best line right now since the All-Star game is the Calgary Flame. 9-1-0 the last 10 game. Montreal beat them at the beginning of the year, 4-2 at home, if you can remember, when they are losing all the time, but they get the way they beat, 1-6-0 and 4-2 Calgary. And so that would be, but for me, it's like we wake up tomorrow, Mr. ENORTAP, and maybe going to be 4-5 our prediction. And then we're going to have some surprise and said, what the heck this coming from? We did not expect that. And then you're going to have the team supposed to win, they lose tonight, and the team not supposed to win, they're going to win tonight.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Well, we've had 2 weeks of it. I don't see it stopping tonight.
Exactly about that one there. And the fact like Dallas, Columbus, Boston, Washington, Minnesota, Nashville, Los Angeles, Anaheim, Edmonton. That's 9 teams I just mentioned to you, at least 7, 8 to 9, right? They're all off themselves before they trade because they don't know where they're going to be the March 21st.
That's right.
So the lot of trade is not going to happen a lot for the next couple of days. Maybe 1 or 2 like this, but I will not be. I'll be a lot of things would be off a little bit, wait a little bit longer to see where they at. So I expect more trade between the 14th to the 21st. Until then, the next 10 days will be a little bit quiet, more what I believe.
Yeah, if anybody makes a deal early, it'll be a team that's well seeded right now.
But we invite everybody. We'll be back at 9 o'clock, Mr. ENORTAP, for the play-by-play with the Hockey Nation Live Show. We're going to do the game Calgary and the Florida with the Montreal. And then after that, we're going to follow up what's going on around the league. We're going to catch up with the prior game, of course, at 7 o'clock. So I can't wait to see everybody here and the chat tonight. But until then, we have to tell everybody, of course, you are awesome. You are amazing. You are the best. And remember, you have greatness inside of you. Thank you so much, everybody, for your prediction tonight. Thank you for your participation. And don't forget, before you leave the door, to tips Danny T, the bouncer. He's always welcome to get some tips. And then don't forget to click on the likes. That'll be the best tip tips you can give to Danny T tonight. So until then, my friend, we want to remind you, be well, be healthy, and find a way not only to dominate your day. Find a way to dominate, Mr. ENORTAP. Your year 2022. An amazing, great job, Mr. ENORTAP. Again, we are thankful for having you aboard. Thank you so much for everything. Good night, everybody.
Good night, Hockey Nation.
Booyah!